Hi, so my name is Christine Bou Sleiman, and I'm a registered dietitian for over 20 years. I have a private practice called Selfie, and I've had the pleasure of having Savannah work with me. She's a dietetic graduate student, and one of the topics that we talked about was how fun it would be to just do a general search and find out what people are most interested in learning about when it comes to weight management. So based on either Google search or information she was able to gather from friends and family, all related to weight management. And so we have some questions that she put together, and we'll try to keep this video short, so we might have some follow-up videos in the future to dive deeper into some of the topics. How are you doing, Savannah?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you.
So, like Christine mentioned, there was a handful of common questions that were asked from family, friends, and also the internet. And so I'm gonna just ask a few questions regarding weight management, weight loss, and some tips from you as a registered dietitian. So the first question that we have is, what is the best approach for my individual needs and goals?
So that's a great question. And as this question states, it's definitely very individualized. So when I have new clients or potential clients call me, the first step is to find out what their specific goals actually are. So for some people, it could be weight loss. For others, it could be digestive symptoms that they want some relief from. It could be, questions about how to kickstart a physical activity routine. So it really just depends on what your main goals are. And then based on those goals and your current lifestyle and diet habits, then that's where we can come up with like an individualized plan to help you along or to get to that goal.
Okay, awesome. So it seems like it's very individualized, not a one one size fits all type thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely individualized. Because some people, I meet with people that, for instance, never cook any meals. So for them, a good starting point could be, hey, let's try to have like a home cooked meal once a week. On the other hand, I have others that cook all the time, but they are just not sure that they're feeding themselves and their family the right foods to
Mhm.
be as healthy as possible. So yeah, definitely you have to see where each person is at and come up with some realistic, baby steps to get to, a good plan for them to follow.
Yeah, that makes totally sense. So my second question is, how many calories should the general person be consuming daily for weight loss?
Okay, so that also depends very much on so many different factors. So activity level, so if someone's, sedentary, doesn't, move around much, their calorie requirement will be much less than someone that exercises, regularly, moderate to vigorously. They would need more calories. Also depends on, your age and your current weight and your current needs. So all of that needs to be calculated so that you can make sure that you're eating enough. And I have a lot of clients that want to lose weight. And when I actually do their diet analysis, find that they're eating way below their minimum calories that they should be consuming. So we've actually had weight loss occur once we've bumped up their calorie intake. So that's always a nice surprise because a lot of them are surprised that, oh my gosh, I get to eat more plus lose weight. So, you know, that's where it gets a little bit interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. When they increase their calories, is there something that happens within the body that makes them lose weight rather than them eating less and not losing weight? What can you tell me a little bit more about that and how that works?
Yeah. So just simply, sometimes when we undereat, we're undernourishing our body, and our body gets into this fight or flight mode or starvation mode. Your body gets mixed signals that, oh my goodness, I'm starving and who knows when my next meal is going to be. So your body slows down, metabolism slows down, your body holds on to every calorie, all that fat, everything that's in your meals so that you can survive, So that's part of it. That's just like overly simplifying it, but that's in a nutshell, why that can happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. My next question is, what are some key principles of portion control and meal timing?
So with portion control, I like to give visuals, and I'm not a big fan of like measuring and scooping out and weighing food because that's very tedious. Sometimes that's helpful in the very, very beginning if I'm trying to really just bring home some like basic, skills on like visualizing portion sizes. But the easier way that I've been able to help people is, if you visualize a plate, like a 9-inch plate, half of that plate in general should be filled with veggies. A quarter of that plate, maybe some protein source, whether it's animal based or plant protein based, beans, nuts, seeds, legumes. And then the other fourth could be like a starchy vegetable or the grain. And that in general is like a good visual. And then I tell people, if you're still hungry, instead of adding more grains or more rice or more starchy vegetables, maybe add more of those lighter green leafy vegetables or other vegetables. And that can kind of help make you a little bit more satisfied.
Mhm.
Was there another part to that question?
No, that answered the question.
Okay.
So what are some healthy and sustainable food choices for weight loss?
So sometimes it's just as simple as removing some of the obvious culprits. So if you're a person that drinks a lot of sugary drinks, coffee drinks that are sweetened and iced and flavored, sometimes that can be, something to minimize or eliminate from your diet. If you're someone that drinks a lot of juice or sodas, that can be like another easy way to cut out some of those calories. And then I like to talk more about what you can eat instead of what you should avoid. So anytime you add more fruits, more vegetables into your diet, you're going to increase fiber in your diet, increase your hunger, satiating, like you'll feel full for a longer period of time if you have more fiber and more whole unprocessed foods in your diet. A lot of
Yeah.
times those simple carbs and those simple packaged foods, we digest them really quickly. Our blood sugars spike, and then they drop quickly and we get hungry. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. So the more whole, unprocessed, fresh foods that you can consume, the better.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I like that you mentioned foods that you would recommend eating and focusing on what you should eat rather than what you shouldn't eat and avoid, because then that can lead to restrictions. And I believe that everything is good in moderation, and in having a healthy, well-balanced plate all the time is good as well. So I
Yeah.
do appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely tell people, my friends, my family, 80-20 is kind of a good general rule. So like 80% of, your foods can be super healthy, whole, unprocessed. And then that 20%, you can have that processed food or sweets or whatever you enjoy having occasionally, because you never want to fully restrict any one food, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not realistic, and it's not fun.
Exactly, yes. So what are some ways that you, as a dietitian, maintain a healthy weight?
So that is very interesting. I live in a house, I'm plant-based, I'm actually vegan, but I live in a household of pescatarians, and then my husband eats everything, flexitarian. So my kids, eat a lot of seafood, beans, other veggies. My husband eats everything. And so what I just try to focus on is making sure that we are having a lot of pre-prepared, chopped up, fruits and veggies available on hand so that can be easy to access and eat. So, and I always stock my car. I'm always on the go. So I always have bags of different types of nuts in my car, different protein bars that'll keep me satiated in between meals. Make sure that I have water, because water, sometimes we do mistaken being hungry when we're actually just dehydrated and thirsty. So trying to keep myself hydrated, and then have those easy vegetables and fruits already cut up, and nuts and different healthy snacks with me, to make sure that I'm, satisfied through the day and not tempted to have those, quick fast food runs, which of course I still do once in a while because, I'm human and it's helpful. But I just try to make sure that I have fruits and vegetables available and easily accessible, so that I do reach for those as snacks versus some other things.
Yeah, that's a really good idea because it's what we have around us is what we're gonna kind of gravitate towards and eat. So it's nice to have those on deck all the time too.
Yeah. What are some of your go-tos?
I too also like protein bars and a lot of nuts, fruits, and vegetables. I like carrots and hummus, apples and peanut butter, and
Mhm.
yeah, just like a good balance between fats and carbs and protein so that I can get it like as my snack, so I can get
Mhm.
like a well-balanced snack.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah. So, what do you think are the most effective types of exercise for weight loss?
So that also depends on your goals. So of course, if your goal is to bulk up and build a lot of muscle, then strength training would be, probably your majority. And also as we age, even, 30s, 40s and up, more and more research is showing that strength training is more important for us to maintain strong, healthy bones and to, keep our lean muscle mass. So I personally have switched from heavy cardio to now strength training 3 times a week, and then doing some cardio in between. But definitely, I think it just depends on your individual goals and what you're looking for, and if you're an athlete or if you're just trying to maintain good, strong, healthy bones for the future.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So when someone is busy, it's hard to maintain weight and eat healthy. So what do you recommend? How would you recommend maintaining healthy weight on a busy schedule?
So I would definitely say for most people, making sure that you try not to skip breakfast unless you're doing it on purpose because you're going to work out and have your breakfast after working out. But usually, if you can have a good, balanced, high protein breakfast, that can help you balance your blood sugars throughout the day, help keep you satisfied till lunch, and give you more energy so that you don't have that drop mid-morning or mid-afternoon. So definitely making sure that, you're stocked either in your bag, your purse, your car, like I mentioned before, like having your snacks. That's so important because the days I don't have it, I'm always out of the house longer than I expect it to be. And that's when you start making unhealthy choices or you just, start spiraling, either losing your energy, losing your temper,
Yep.
all of those things. So yeah. And then just pre-prepping if you have time to do that, that would be great. Pre-chopping vegetables, pre-chopping fruit, making spreads or dips that are healthy that you can use, to make these foods more exciting. So yeah, planning ahead and making sure you're always armed with snacks that are healthy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I always hear from people they usually have specific days of the week where they dedicate like meal prepping and things too, like on Sundays. So I think it's nice to get in once you get in the routine of doing those things, you
Mhm.
start to create a habit and continue on that, even with a busy schedule.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the last question I have for you is how can people stay motivated through their weight loss journey?
So that's a great question. And I think it's different for everyone and depending on what stage you are in your life. So I know, like for myself, I always thought I needed to have an exercise partner. I wasn't going to be consistent with it. So for a long time, I tried to find a friend or a sister or someone that would meet up for hikes or walks or go to the gym. But as people got older and busier, it was harder for that to happen. So I ended up finally being motivated on my own to just set up a routine and pre-plan my workouts so that I just have them embedded in my schedule. But definitely, if you can find a partner, if you're just getting started, having support from family, friends, social gatherings with friends. I know a lot of them usually are surrounded with food or planned around food, like dinners and potlucks and things like that. So maybe just finding some more active things to do with friends and family, like meeting at the park or meeting somewhere for a hike or going to a movie, things that maybe don't necessarily involve, food.
Yeah, I think that those are all great options too, to just like reward yourself, stay motivated, because having that support system, I believe, is huge. So it's nice to have that, and then you can start building that for yourself as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
that kind of concludes all of the questions that I had for you today. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to answer these questions for me and for the general population.
Yeah, definitely. And if you or anyone has any specific questions or just wants to have a quick, free 15-minute chat to kind of talk about what your health goals are, or if you have any specific questions that you'd like answered, you can click the link below and schedule a free 15-minute call, and look out for some more videos in the future. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye, Savannah. Thank you.